Hi, my name is Suhas, and today I'm going to talk about the APES overview and high school readiness for VIBA. So the overall question of APES is, how do we affect the environment and what will it mean for our future? So what is APES? APES is known as AP Environmental Science. It's oriented around the effects and pollutions humans have on the environment and vice versa. So essentially, it's covering all of ecology, population, pollution, the food, how we grow our food, how it might affect the environment, and so what. So the class is typically taken as a freshman or a sophomore, but it's not unheard of for a junior to take it as a class as a brain break. And the class for me required very few memorization skills, if any, because most of the questions actually give you like a background information, and you just have to apply what you know from concepts on your notes to the questions. So the only memorization, honestly, throughout the class is scientific names of major pollutants and laws at the end of the year. And those laws are given to you on a worksheet. And there's lots of notebook checks, so do not fall behind. And this is how the class is distributed among the units. So usually first semester is until right here, and second semester starts with soil and ends with pollutants and global change. So the first semester is honestly like a review of ecology and physical science to some degree, and then the second semester is everything new. And the AP exam is really similar to the AP Human exam, where it's split into a multiple choice section and an FRQ section. So the 2021 exam has 80 multiple choice questions in an hour and a half and 3 FRQ questions in an hour and 10 minutes. And something I feel after taking the AP exam is that you'll feel very drained. Like, staying that focused for almost 3 hours is really difficult to do, and it's a very fast-paced test. And so you have to, once you answer a question, you really don't have time to go back and rethink your answers and stuff, and you have to learn how to think under pressure, and you shouldn't be guessing because all the answers should come from the prompt or your knowledge from class. And these are some example multiple choice questions, so I'm going to give you a minute for each of these. 15 would be in the pollutant section and 14 is in population. So I'll just give you a minute. Okay, if you need more time, you can pause it, but the first question should be D, and the second question should be C. So you should be able to do both of these questions in 2 minutes, and you shouldn't check your answers, honestly. And this is an example FRQ question. This is the AP FRQ question that I took when I was in 9th grade, and there were 4 questions when I took it, and they reduced it for the 2021 exam. And use your skills from the AP Human exam to answer the questions straight to the point. When I did the FRQ exam, for each of these A, B, C, and D, and F, C, D, E, and F, I honestly wrote like 4 or 5 sentences for each of them, and even though it asked for one ecological benefit or something like that, I wrote like 5 sentences. And make sure you don't do that. Your graders want to read straight to the point. And some things you should look forward to are environment-related food activities and outside activities and studying. So when I was in 9th grade, we had a pretty reasonable amount of food activities and outside activities. So for example, we went goldfish fishing for population control, where you like each person like takes goldfish or something and like controls the population in a pond. And we did a dirt pile with the gummy worm for layers of soil. So that's a picture of it. And sometimes we played tag outside for population control. I think it was between wolves and I think deer. And we also studied trees in nature. So that's something to look forward to instead of just sitting in the classroom. And this class has a lot of self-studying and time to work on your own. So usually you spend that time like reviewing or just finishing up notes, because the lectures only, out of the 5 days of the week, lectures are probably like two times. The rest of the time is work on your own. And there's only 1 to 2 essays maximum throughout the year, which is pretty good for people like me who don't want to write. And creative projects such as posters and building a hydroelectric dam are pretty relevant throughout the year too. So these are creative projects, and the after test energy from taking a classroom test is crazy. Like everyone's discussing, so that's something to look forward to, I guess. And some personal opinions on the class is, again, I took the class as a freshman and my teacher was Miss Cooper. And something I learned from other people that took the class too is that people took the class too easily, where they just consider it, oh, it's just environment, and then they don't study, and they're like, okay, it's just common knowledge. The concepts are really built on each other, so you have to learn things as you do in class, or else you're not going to be in pace. And the class tests are pretty different from the AP exams because they're more simple and less complex. So make sure to buy test review books such as Princeton Review to read it, to not read it, but take the practice test. Reading the notes from the Princeton Review only wastes your time. Don't do it. And the AP exam was rough, but knowledge in class came clutch. And make sure you're in good hands, and you should be, because the teachers at South know what they're doing. And Miss Stephens and Miss Cooper have done this for a couple of years, and they know how to make the lesson plan easy for us, so don't worry about it. And some tokens of advice is try not to discuss the multiple choice answers after the AP exam, because it might make you feel bad. That's what I did, because everyone was discussing different answers from mine, and that made me feel bad. And then practice writing in pen under pressure and write in short and concise, as I stated before. Stay up to date in class, and understand your notes, because if you understand your notes and know what you're doing, you should get an A or B in class. There shouldn't be any failing grades or something, because if you're in class, most of there's relatively a lot of summatives throughout the year. So even if you do bad on one, there's a lot of options to make it better. And prepare your hands before a PowerPoint presentation, because the slides for these lectures are at least 100 slides for each unit. So make sure your hands ready and brain's ready, because it's a lot of content. And another piece of advice is you may want to join Environmental Club. Environmental Club doesn't include knowledge like APES does, but it's a good application if you're interested in this, and you might choose it for a career. Okay, thank you.